and the peace of the country out here. It does something to you inside that's really so special and so calming. And, you know, after he did the second one, everyone said, oh, you got to make a third one, or a fourth one, or whatever. And I said, no, I really don't know where I can take this character. I think, you know, I'm finished. And then...
The movie Crocodile Dundee is one of the biggest cultural phenomena in the film industry, and everyone knows the main reason for its success was Linda Kozlowski.
Sue Charlton, Newsday.
Linda's unforgettable performance as Sue Charlton captivated audiences worldwide. But what most people don't know is that one of her most iconic scenes was far more real than anyone realized. In this video, we'll uncover the truth behind the scene that made her a global star. What exactly was this scene, and how did it earn her the fame she has today? Let's find out how Linda Kozlowski rose to fame. Before we get into the unforgettable scene Linda Kozlowski acted in, we need to first get a backstory on who she was as a person before she became famous. Linda Kozlowski was born on January 7, 1958, in Fairfield, Connecticut, USA. From a young age, Linda displayed a passion for the arts. She attended Fairfield's Andrew Ward High School. Then, she did what most people who shared the same passion she had did. She pursued her dreams by studying drama at the prestigious Juilliard School in New York City. Juilliard, known for nurturing world-class talent, gave Linda the foundation she needed to prepare for a career in acting. She graduated in 1981, ready to step into the competitive world of entertainment. After graduating, Linda worked hard to build a career in theater and television. She performed in plays and small productions, focusing on honing her craft. One of her early roles was in an off-Broadway production of Death of a Salesman. Linda played Miss Forsyth, a supporting role, but it helped her gain experience. Later, the play was adapted into a TV movie in 1985, and she reprised her role, which gave her some exposure. Even so, her career hadn't taken off yet, and she faced the struggles of being a relatively unknown actress. In 1985, Linda Kozlowski's life began to change when she heard about auditions for a low-budget Australian movie called Crocodile Dundee. She decided to audition for the role of Sue Charlton, a New York journalist who travels to Australia to write about an eccentric bushman named Mick Dundee. The movie's director, Peter Feynman, and its co-writer and lead actor, Paul Hogan, were looking for someone who could portray Sue's intelligence, charm, and curiosity. Linda impressed them during the audition, and she was cast as Sue Charlton. This role would turn her life around. Filming for Crocodile Dundee began in 1985. The movie had a modest budget of about $8.8 million and was expected to perform well in Australia, but not necessarily in other countries. Linda traveled to Australia for filming, where she worked closely with Paul Hogan, who played Mick Dundee. Their on-screen chemistry became one of the highlights of the movie. Linda's character, Sue, brought a sense of sophistication and balance to Mick Dundee's rugged, larger-than-life persona. Her performance blended humor, intelligence, and vulnerability, which resonated with audiences. In September 1986, Crocodile Dundee was released in Australia and became an instant hit. The film's humor, heart, and unique depiction of Australian culture.
This is the luxury holiday house?
Caught the attention of international distributors. By the time the movie was released in the United States that month, it had already generated huge attention in the film industry. Audiences in America loved the film, and it became a massive box office success. That's when Linda Kozlowski, who was relatively unknown before, suddenly found herself in the spotlight. The movie went on to become the second highest-grossing film of 1986 in the United States, earning over $174 million in the US alone. Worldwide, it grossed over $328 million. This unexpected success catapulted Linda Kozlowski into global fame. She became a household name, and her portrayal of Sue Charlton was praised for being both charming and memorable. The film received an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Screenplay, and Linda, along with the rest of the cast, gained widespread recognition. As Crocodile Dundee gained popularity, one particular scene involving Linda became iconic. Keep watching to find out what is so remarkable about this scene. Linda's unforgettable scene and the challenges she faced while filming. Like we mentioned earlier in Crocodile Dundee, Linda played Sue Charlton, a journalist who travels to the Australian outback to write a story about the titular character, Mick Dundee, played by Paul Hogan. The scene in question occurs during one of Sue's adventures in the wild. In this particular moment, Sue is standing by the water, enjoying the serenity of the landscape. Suddenly, a massive crocodile lunges out of the water toward her. The tension can be felt as the crocodile snaps its jaws, coming dangerously close to Sue. Audiences around the world were on the edge of their seats as Mick Dundee rushed in to save her, using his bare hands and a knife to fend off the crocodile. What made this scene unforgettable was not just the suspense, but also how realistic it felt. While many films rely on special effects, Crocodile Dundee aimed for authenticity. Instead of using a completely animatronic crocodile, the filmmakers used a combination of real footage of crocodiles and practical effects. For Linda, this meant she had to act in close proximity to a mechanical crocodile that looked and moved like a real one. Even though it was not an actual crocodile, the realism of the prop made the experience nerve-wracking. Linda later admitted in interviews that acting in that scene required her to stay calm and focused, despite the fear she felt inside. Filming this scene was very difficult. The filmmakers wanted to ensure that Linda felt safe while still delivering a convincing performance. Before filming, the crew spent hours rehearsing the timing and movements of the mechanical crocodile. Linda had to repeatedly practice her reactions, ensuring they looked natural and matched the crocodile's movements. The challenge was not only in reacting to the crocodile, but also in maintaining the balance between fear and strength in Sue's character. Sue was not meant to be a damsel in distress, but rather a strong woman who finds herself in a terrifying situation. Linda's ability to portray this duality is part of what made the scene so memorable. That's not all. The filming location made things even more difficult. Shot in the Australian outback, the environment was rugged and unpredictable. The heat was intense, and the crew had to contend with insects, rough terrain, and the ever-present possibility of encountering real wildlife. Linda, who was relatively new to such conditions, found the experience both thrilling and exhausting. Despite these challenges, she remained professional and determined to deliver her best performance. One of the most talked about aspects of this scene is how Linda's reactions appeared so genuine. Her fear, surprise, and eventual relief when Mick saves her felt incredibly real, leaving audiences wondering how much of it was acting. The truth is, even though Linda knew the crocodile was not real, the combination of the environment, the mechanical prop, and the high stakes of the scene created a sense of genuine unease. This authenticity is one of the reasons why the scene continues to be discussed and remembered decades later. The crocodile scene also showed the chemistry between Linda Kozlowski and Paul Hogan. Mick's quick thinking and bravery in rescuing Sue showcased the bond between their characters, which was a central theme of the film. Off-screen, Linda and Paul had already developed a strong rapport, which translated into their performances. After the release of Crocodile Dundee in 1986, the crocodile scene quickly became one of the most talked about parts of the film. Critics praised Linda's performance, noting how she balanced vulnerability with strength. Fans admired her ability to make such a high-stakes moment feel authentic and engaging. The scene also became a cultural touchstone, which is referenced in interviews, parodies, and discussions about iconic movie moments. Now, how exactly did Linda's career progress after all the recognition she gained from this scene and the movie overall? Let's get into it. Linda's career after Crocodile Dundee. After her iconic role in Crocodile Dundee, Linda Kozlowski's career took a different path. She had become a household name thanks to her portrayal of Sue Charlton, but as always, fame came with its challenges. While Linda continued acting in a few more films after her breakthrough role, she eventually stepped back from Hollywood. This decision was influenced by a combination of factors, including her struggle with typecasting, her desire for a more private life, and her wish to focus on her family. Linda's career after Crocodile Dundee included several acting projects, but she found it difficult to escape the shadow of her role as Sue Charlton. In 1988, she appeared in Pass the Ammo, a comedy that showcased her talent for humor. The film was a departure from the adventure genre of Crocodile Dundee, but it did not achieve the same level of success. Linda also reprised her role as Sue Charlton in Crocodile Dundee 2 in 1988. While the sequel was well received and performed well at the box office, it reinforced her association with the Crocodile Dundee franchise, making it harder for her to break into other types of roles. In the early 1990s, Linda appeared in a few more films, including Almost an Angel in 1990, where she reunited with Paul Hogan, her co-star from Crocodile Dundee. The film, a lighthearted comedy about redemption and kindness, was another opportunity for Linda to work alongside Hogan, who was also her romantic partner off-screen. Despite her strong performances, Linda began to feel dissatisfied with the roles she was being offered. She later explained that she often felt typecast and struggled to find opportunities that allowed her to showcase her range as an actress. That same year, Linda married Paul Hogan, her co-star from Crocodile Dundee.
How happy were you on your wedding day?
I guess the top of the scale. I was so happy I don't remember it.
Their romance had blossomed during the filming of the first movie, and their relationship became a major focus of public attention. The couple tied the knot in a private ceremony, but their marriage quickly became the subject of media fascination. By the mid-1990s, Linda did something unexpected. She made the decision to step back from acting. Her final film appearance was in Village of the Damned in 1995, a horror film directed by John Carpenter. While the movie gave her the chance to explore a darker, more intense role, it marked the end of her Hollywood career. Linda realized that her passion for acting had waned, and she no longer felt fulfilled by the industry. She decided to prioritize her personal life, which was becoming increasingly important to her. Despite the challenges of being in the spotlight, Linda and Paul built a life together, and in 1998, they welcomed their son, Chance Hogan. Becoming a mother brought Linda immense joy and a renewed sense of purpose. Her decision to step away from acting was influenced in part by her desire to be a hands-on parent. Linda devoted herself to raising Chance and creating a stable, nurturing environment for him. While Paul continued to work in the entertainment industry, Linda focused on her family, often keeping a low profile to protect her son from the pressures of fame. Despite their strong bond, Linda and Paul's marriage faced challenges over the years. Their differences, both personal and professional, became more apparent as time went on. In 2013, after 23 years of marriage, Linda and Paul announced their divorce. The split was amicable, with both parties citing a natural drift apart as the reason for their decision. Linda later described their relationship as a meaningful chapter in her life, and she expressed gratitude for the time they had shared together. After her divorce, Linda began a new chapter in her life. She moved to Morocco, where she found love again with Moulay Hafid Baba, a Moroccan tour guide. The two shared a passion for travel and adventure, and their relationship marked the beginning of an exciting new phase for Linda. Together, they co-founded a tour company, offering customized travel experiences in Morocco. Linda embraced her new role as an entrepreneur, finding joy in helping others explore the beauty and culture of her adopted home. Linda also became involved in efforts to establish a donkey sanctuary, driven by her love for animals and her desire to make a positive impact in her community. Today, Linda Kozlowski is an inspiration to others, as she is an indication that success is not just about career achievements, but also about finding happiness and fulfillment in life.
When Julia Roberts and George Clooney first met on the set of Ocean's 11 in the year 2000, no one could have guessed their friendship would last longer than many Hollywood marriages. Their first encounter wasn't just another typical Hollywood introduction. It marked the start of one of Tinseltown's longest-lasting, purely platonic bonds. Clooney shared that the moment they met, they just had fun, noting how their similar work styles helped form the basis of their friendship. Both stars were already well known at the time. Roberts was coming off her Oscar win for Erin Brockovich, and Clooney was moving from his fame on ER to a career in movies. What made their friendship special was how they kept work and real life separate. Unlike many Hollywood friendships that only exist on film sets or red carpets, Roberts and Clooney developed something more meaningful. When Roberts was pregnant with twins in 2004, Clooney put aside his usual pranks and showed a caring side not many had seen. He would ask if she was feeling okay, because she looked a bit tired, and he made sure she stayed hydrated on set. They worked together more often over the years, with Ocean's 12 in 2004 and Money Monster in 2016. However, it was the time they spent off-screen that really strengthened their friendship.
Be like, caw-caw! And she would come out and make some weird bird noise, and then we'd go out and get coffee.
When Roberts was pregnant for the first time, she found comfort at Clooney's famous Lake Como villa in Italy. Later, she brought her children there, filling the historic villa with the happy chaos of family life. Unlike many Hollywood friendships that fall apart due to competition or rumors, theirs grew stronger because they shared the same values. Both had successful careers but never let work take over their lives. They supported each other through big life moments. Robert's marriage to Danny Moder, Clooney's years as Hollywood's most eligible bachelor, and finally, his shift into family life. What's especially impressive is how they dealt with the inevitable romance rumors. Instead of letting the gossip affect their friendship, they handled it with their usual humor. Clooney explained that Julia was always in a relationship, or he was in a relationship, and they became close friends right away. It was all just fun for them. As Roberts once put it, "It's a relief they are not Hollywood friends." This simple line captures the heart of their connection. Genuine, lasting, and refreshingly real in an industry often seen as shallow. Those early years set the stage for an even more interesting chapter when a certain human rights lawyer came into the picture. Just when Hollywood thought they understood Julia and George's friendship, along came Amal Alamuddin, a brilliant human rights lawyer, ready to challenge one of Tinseltown's most famous bonds. But what happened next surprised everyone. The Amal years. When George Clooney met Amal Alamuddin in 2013, Julia Roberts was one of the first people he called. After years of watching her friend go through high-profile relationships, Roberts knew this one was different. "It is wonderful," she told Ellen DeGeneres, even before meeting Amal.
Have you met her?
No.
She seems lovely.
She is beautiful and smart. He is happy, and that's what matters to me.
She describes Amal as beautiful and smart, and George being happy is what matters to her. George Clooney didn't leave the first meeting between Roberts and Amal up to chance. He carefully planned a dinner to introduce the two most important women in his life. What could have been an awkward evening, especially with years of tabloid rumors about Roberts and Clooney's relationship, actually became the start of a remarkable three-way friendship. What made their bond special was how naturally it developed. While many Hollywood wives often see their husbands' female co-stars with suspicion, Amal welcomed Roberts with open arms. The Oxford-educated lawyer, known for defending Julian Assange and advising Kofi Annan, discovered in Roberts a kindred spirit who valued realness over Hollywood glamour. Their friendship grew stronger when the Clooneys welcomed twins Ella and Alexander in 2017. Roberts, who was already a mother of three, became Auntie Juju to the twins. The nickname stuck and represented the close, family-like bond they had formed. While filming Ticket to Paradise in 2022, the Clooney twins would visit the set and run to hug their Auntie Juju between takes. The real test of their friendship happened during the intimate scenes between Roberts and Clooney in Ticket to Paradise. Amal's reaction? She watched the famous 80-take kiss scene with amusement. knowing it was all part of their professional work, and feeling secure in her relationship. Away from the cameras, the Clooneys, Roberts, with her husband Danny Moder and their children, and Amal's international friends created their own community. They celebrated holidays together, supported each other's causes, and established traditions that went beyond ordinary Hollywood socializing. In December 2022, Roberts made headlines by wearing a dress decorated with photos of George Clooney at the Kennedy Center Honors. This playful and heartfelt gesture showed how their friendship had grown. Amal, who was sitting in the audience, was seen laughing and applauding, a clear sign of how far they had all come together. Behind the scenes of Hollywood's most exciting on-screen partnership, the fact that it took 80 takes for a single kiss had everyone asking, was this just acting? Or was there something deeper making these scenes so tough? What really happened on those sets? On-screen magic. From Ocean's 11 to Ticket to Paradise, Julia Roberts and George Clooney's on-screen chemistry has captivated audiences for more than 20 years. Their latest collaboration highlighted this magic, especially during a now-famous kiss scene that surprisingly took 80 takes to get just right. But here's what the cameras didn't catch. 79 of those takes ended in laughter. It was like kissing her best friend, Roberts said with her signature laugh. Clooney, always the jokester, reminded her of his Sexiest Man Alive titles, but even that couldn't keep them serious enough to film the scene. Their professional partnership includes 6 major films, each highlighting a different side of their chemistry. In Ocean's 11, in 2001, they played exes with unfinished business. In Money Monster, in 2016, they took on the roles of a TV producer and a host dealing with a crisis. Each role presented new challenges, but their natural connection made even the tense scenes feel real. What makes their on-screen partnership special is their ability to stay professional while genuinely having fun. While filming Ticket to Paradise in Australia, COVID restrictions kept them away from their families, but they supported each other through long days and lonely nights. Roberts later admitted that Clooney and his family helped her avoid complete loneliness and despair during that time. Their work dynamic has become famous in Hollywood. Directors often set aside extra time for scenes with both stars, knowing that their infectious laughter might slow down filming, but will ultimately create magic on screen. This was especially clear in Money Monster, where director Jodie Foster reportedly planned to film their most challenging dialogue scenes early in the day, before their playful banter could take over. The success of their partnership comes from their similar approach to acting. Both take their work seriously, but also have a good sense of humor about themselves. Their combined box office appeal, over $5 billion worldwide, shows that audiences connect with their genuine chemistry. Unlike many Hollywood pairs who get tired of working together, Roberts and Clooney actively look for projects to do together. Roberts joked in a recent interview that George couldn't live without her on screen, but there's some truth in her humor. Their collaborations have actually become more frequent over the years, not less. Their most recent project, Ticket to Paradise, highlighted how they have grown as screen partners. Playing divorced parents, trying to stop their daughter's wedding, they brought years of friendship and understanding to their roles. The result was a performance that felt both new and familiar. Before the 80-take kisses with Clooney and billion-dollar box office hits, Julia Roberts was just a girl from Georgia with big dreams and an even bigger smile. But how did a small-town waitress role change everything? Early career and rise to fame. In 1988, a relatively unknown Julia Roberts took on the role of Daisy Arujo, a lively waitress in the small-town drama Mystic Pizza. The movie was made on a modest budget of $6 million and wasn't an instant hit. But it showed off something special, a new talent with a smile that would soon become one of Hollywood's most famous. What many people don't know is that Roberts almost didn't get the part. She initially auditioned for the role of Daisy's sister, Kat, but director Donald Petrie saw something different in her, a natural energy that matched Daisy's rebellious spirit perfectly. This decision would be crucial in kickstarting her career. The next year, Roberts starred in Steel Magnolias, where she shared the screen with big names like Sally Field, Dolly Parton, and Shirley MacLaine. In the film, she played Shelby, a young bride with diabetes who was determined to have a child despite the health risks. Her performance earned her first Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Behind the scenes, she developed a close friendship with Sally Field, who became a mentor to her during those early years. Then came the year 1990 and Pretty Woman, the role that turned Roberts from a promising newcomer into a global superstar. The movie was originally called 3000, which was the amount her character was paid for a week's companionship. The first version of the script was much darker than the romantic comedy we know today. Roberts pushed for a more empowering portrayal of her character, Vivian Ward, making small but important changes that helped create the film's more positive tone. The chemistry between Roberts and Richard Gere in Pretty Woman didn't happen right away. They had to do several screen tests before the directors were convinced. The risk was worth it. The film made over $463 million worldwide, breaking records for romantic comedies and earning Roberts her first Oscar nomination for Best Actress. During these important years, Roberts made key choices that shaped her career. She turned down leading roles in Sleepless in Seattle and While You Were Sleeping to avoid being stuck in romantic comedies. Even after the huge success of Pretty Woman, she selected her next projects carefully, prioritizing character development over just making money. Behind the scenes, Roberts was figuring out how to handle her sudden fame. During this time, she developed her signature laugh-smile combination, which was partly a natural way to deal with her nervous energy during interviews. This genuine and sometimes silly charm made her likable to both audiences and fellow actors. By the end of 1990, Roberts had achieved something amazing. She had 3 successful films, 2 Oscar nominations, and had become the highest-paid actress in Hollywood, all before turning 23. More importantly, she proved she was more than just a pretty face. She was a serious actress with real talent to support her rising star power. At the peak of her new fame, America's sweetheart unexpectedly earned the nickname Tinker Hell on Steven Spielberg's set. Was it the stress of being a star, a broken heart, or something more serious that caused Hollywood's Golden Girl to clash with its most powerful director? The Hook drama and Spielberg feud. In February of 1991, Julia Roberts showed up on the set of Hook to play Tinker Bell, ready for what should have been a wonderful partnership with Steven Spielberg. Instead, it turned into one of Hollywood's most famous feuds, set against a backdrop of personal struggles and work-related stress. The problems started even before they began filming. At just 23 years old and still getting used to her sudden fame, Roberts was preparing for her wedding to actor Kiefer Sutherland while working on the movie. The filming schedule was set up to fit her wedding date on June 14th. However, behind the scenes, her personal life was falling apart. There were rumors that Sutherland was having an affair with a dancer, and Roberts was finding it hard to handle everything. The filming conditions made things even harder. Unlike her earlier roles, playing Tinkerbell required Roberts to spend a lot of time alone in front of a green screen. Without other actors to interact with, she had to depend completely on Spielberg's direction. This isolation, along with her emotional struggles, created a challenging situation. What many people don't realize is that the production was already dealing with issues. Dustin Hoffman's method of acting led to delays, And working with child actors limited the hours they could shoot. The budget increased from $48 million to $80 million, and the filming schedule extended from 76 days to 116 days. While Roberts was facing her own struggles, she became the focus of the production's problems. The nickname Tinker Hell started circulating on set, but the real situation was more complicated. Roberts was dealing with the public breakup of her relationship, which is something that not many 23-year-olds could handle easily. Just 3 days before her wedding, she ran away to Ireland with Jason Patrick, who was Sutherland's friend. And that made international headlines. Spielberg spoke about the situation during an interview on 60 Minutes, where he called it an unfortunate time to work with Roberts. While he praised her acting, he also said he would never work with her again. For Roberts, hearing this public criticism from one of Hollywood's most powerful directors was really tough.
He felt that
Steven Spielberg, I find quite confused in his recollection of me.
She later told Vanity Fair that when she saw that, her eyes popped out of my head. She couldn't believe the same person that she knew and trusted was actually hesitating to come to her defense. Even with all the drama, Hook earned $300 million worldwide. Although Roberts' role as Tinkerbell was overshadowed by the controversy, she still delivered some truly magical moments. This experience taught her important lessons about dealing with personal crises while in the spotlight, leading her to be more protective of her private life. 30 years later, Roberts and Spielberg have never worked together again, even though both went on to win Oscars in the years after Hook. While the aftermath of the Spielberg feud was still unfolding, Julia Roberts' love life turned into Hollywood's most talked-about soap opera. With canceled weddings and surprise marriages, what really went on during her tumultuous decade of romance? Early relationship history. The 1990s were not only marked by career successes for Julia Roberts, but they also brought a series of high-profile relationships that kept tabloids busy. After her dramatic departure from the Hook set, her personal life became the focus, influencing how she dealt with fame for years to come. Her relationship with Kiefer Sutherland looked like a fairy tale. They first met while filming Flatliners in 1990, where their on-screen chemistry turned into a real romance. The young stars planned a big wedding at 20th Century Fox's Soundstage 14, which was going to be decorated like a garden for 500 guests. But just 3 days before the wedding, Roberts made headlines when she ran away to Ireland with Sutherland's friend, Jason Patrick. This was after Roberts had found out about Sutherland's supposed cheating with a dancer at a local strip club. The media portrayed her as a runaway bride, but behind the scenes, she was just a 23-year-old making a tough decision to leave a marriage that could have made her unhappy. Next was the unexpected marriage to country singer Lyle Lovett in 1993. The couple had only known each other for 3 weeks when they got married in Marion, Indiana. Roberts took a break from filming The Pelican Brief to have the ceremony at St. James Lutheran Church. The unusual match, Hollywood's most beautiful woman and the uniquely featured country star, captivated the public. Their marriage lasted 21 months, ending on good terms in March 1995. Between 1995 and 1998, Roberts dated several actors, including Matthew Perry and Dylan McDermott. However, her relationship with Benjamin Bratt seemed the most promising. They met through friends in 1997, and for 4 years, they looked like Hollywood's perfect couple. Bratt joined Roberts at her Oscar win for Erin Brockovich in 2001. But they announced their breakup just a few months later. During these years, Roberts learned important lessons about keeping her private life safe. She stopped talking about her relationships in interviews and started being more careful about who she brought to public events. The intense media attention on her love life taught her how important it is to keep some things private. From this decade of romantic ups and downs, a wiser and more careful Roberts emerged. She decided never to speak badly about her exes in public, kept friendships with several of them, and learned how to handle Hollywood relationships gracefully. This time in her life also affected her acting choices. Roberts started picking roles that showed stronger, more complex women, stepping away from the romantic comedy characters that had made her famous. Her personal experiences brought depth to these performances, especially in movies like My Best Friend's Wedding in 1997, where she played a woman dealing with lost love. These relationship experiences, although sometimes difficult, helped Roberts become the person who would eventually find lasting love. However, there was still one more controversial romance that would shake up Hollywood. After 10 years of public heartbreaks, Julia Roberts finally found love. However, there was one major issue. He was married. Then came the T-shirt that turned Hollywood upside down. What led America's sweetheart to make such a bold move?
Well, what do you think about this remarkable scene? Leave your opinions in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.